I wanted to talk to you today. Oh, Jim Townsend, I guess I should introduce myself, although everybody that's been watching my videos knows who I am by now. Jim Townsend, Townsend.b. I wanted to talk to you about the true law. And what I mean by the true law is what is intended by free men whenever they set up lawful jural societies. You see, here's how I think the world is run. The world is run by global bankers who use a system of force, religion, and legislation in order to attack the rest of the world. Now, Switzerland is the ancestral home of the Jewish British royal families of Europe, the Falcon's Nest. And they've launched their attack upon the world from Switzerland. If you go to Basel, Switzerland, you find that the Bank of International Settlements has an asset base of $175 trillion, and the world owes $100 trillion to these people. Well, we all know they're all phony debts. These people have been doing this for an awful long time. So they go into a country and they smash it. And then the next thing that they do is they bring in their Bible, because they need to mind manipulate you. So if they can get this around you and you have faith in that, then they can get this one around you and you have faith in this. They bring in their legal system. The legal system run by the Bar Association, Bar Mitzvah, sons of the divine law. So why is it that our legal systems should be subject to a foreign bar, and people have to do as these people say if they want to practice law within our countries? Well, you know, there's a difference between what's lawful and what's legal. What's lawful is predicated upon what's morally and ethically correct. It contemplates the true spirit of the law, justice. Legal just simply means the written form of the law. But I submit unto you that when the written form of the law does not match the intent, because that's the measure of the law, mens rea, you know, errare humanum est, as a human you're allowed to err, but you can't sit down and contemplate the demise of somebody else with malice aforethought. That's what mens rea means, intent. So the true law is predicated upon intent. Now, when men set up lawful jural societies, what they do is, you know, if you comport yourself as a gentleman and you never do anything wrong to injure another human being, then you should never come awry of the law. Well, the legal system franchise comes over and they replace the law with the gobbledygook, and then under color and guise of law they can ticket you for absolutely everything. It's a slavery system. Look at the definition of free, not subject to the legal constraint of another. Well, when you're subject to all of these rules and regulations, you're a slave. That's all there is to it. So how do you run a true law system? You see, the true law is predicated upon what's morally and ethically correct. And if you undermine the morals and the ethics of a society, you undermine the ability of that society to actually have a true law system. And that's why our morals and ethics are under attack. These same people in Basel, Switzerland, that want to rule the world, they're the world's largest pharmaceutical manufacturers. They want to keep you dumbed down and drugged up. We can see how all of this vectors into each other. So the true law, what is it? Well, you see, if I do another human being an injury, then that living human being has a claim in me as a living human being, and he charges me and he compels me to go to court to answer to a jury of my peers. You see, this judge law, it's all of this legal gobbledygook, the Bar Association just making an industry for themselves. That's all that it is. This legal system is just an industry. The largest industry in North America is corrections. Corrections USA, Corrections Canada. Corrections USA, how did it come about? Well, when America attacked Vietnam in order to control the opium drugs in the Golden Triangle, they were shipping opium back in the cadavers of dead American soldiers in order to poison the children on the street. That's where all of these drugs came from in the first place. That was called Air America. Air America subsequently became Wackenhut Corporation, and is now the largest institutional organization in the United States. We're under attack by this legal system franchise operating under color and guise of law in our courts. So here we are, we're in court. I've charged you because you come up and punched me or something like that. So now I have a claim against you. So we go in and we present our case to a jury. And a jury of your peers, 12 people, determine whether or not you comported yourself in a moral and ethical manner. Because 12 people living in your own community will understand the standards of your community, and they will be able to determine whether you are guilty or not guilty. The judge was never ever meant to sit there and determine whether you're guilt or anything else. That's all up to a jury. Even the jury decides what you should compensate. You see, when you take that ability away from a jury, that you no longer have a lawful jural society. What you have is a legal system that can be paid off. Justice is no longer sitting there watching what's going on and weighing the scales with what she sees and then taking your divine sword and setting things to right. Now justice is sitting there with the scales and the sword and can't see what to do. So everybody's in jeopardy to this legal system. So it's really very easy to understand. If you look back in history about this legal system franchise from Britain, try reading this book, Thief Taker General by Townsend. Boy, is it ever an interesting insight into how thoroughly, morally, and ethically decrepit these people are that have gone around and undermined us in order to use our courts to attack us and to steal everything. Oh, what crimes you commit when you've got a court in your pocket. You can take a piece of paper and you can put a little bit of ink on it and then pass it off as counterfeit money. You wouldn't take a wooden nickel. Why would you take a paper dollar? A dollar is silver. You know, so they use this law system to steal absolutely everything in sight. And people say, well, we need to go back to the common law system. Well, no, the common law, see, the British Crown of Israel and their Jewish monarchs claim that God gave them everybody else on the face of the earth, everybody else's property as their property in common. That's what the Commonwealth is. It's the claim that we are animals. These people call us goyim. You know, this is where all racism comes from. It's written in the Old Testament. Get yourself one of these Torahs and actually read it, and you'll see that this is filth. This is hate literature, thinly disguised as a religious text in order to keep it from being burned and put into an outhouse where it really belongs. The common law system, you had the right to be tried by a jury of your peers, but you see what people don't understand about the British Crown of Israel and their Jewish monarchs and their Commonwealth is what that meant. See, there are two classes of people in the British Empire. There are peers and subjects. We'll look up the definition of free in Black's Law Dictionary. Free, not subject to the legal constraint of another. Free men are self-governing. They only follow the golden rule. Well, when you are subject to laws, you're a slave. So you have peers of the realm, which are all the other Jews, you know, we're the sons of God and all that other sort of stuff. And then you have subjects. So you, as a British subject, were just a slave. And under common law, your right to be tried by a jury of your peers meant that you had a right to get tried by 12 of your Jewish masters. So it wasn't just one of them saying, oh, well, you know, you let me off and I'm going to kill you, I'm going to hang you, or some goddamn thing like that. No, well, you know, reasonable, maybe somebody might like you or whatever. I think you were just as much in your jeopardy as anything else, being tried by the peers of the British Empire. All of these peers, they run this legal system franchise. You know, the British Crown of Israel and the Jewish monarchs, they have all of these peoples of title that follow them. If you look at the legal system, the Bar Association, all lawyers have a British title. Esquire. It's a shield bearer to the crown. So you have to know that whenever you go into court, even if you hire a lawyer, that man has sworn allegiance to that foreign power that is raping you in that court. You see, all the lawyers go into the court and they bow towards the source of authority on the wall. And on that source of authority, it says, Due mon droit, God and my right. And it also says on that little crest, Ani soit qui mal y pense. Evil be to him who thinks it. And you know what? The British Crown of Israel and your Jewish monarchs, Ani soit qui mal y pense. Evil be unto your head for bringing this onto the human race. I love you, my fellow man. Peace unto you. Let's stick together. We're going to get through this.